Hey crypto friends, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name's Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. In today's educational trading video, you guys are going to learn all about a super easy Bollinger Bands swing trading strategy and how you can incorporate it into your own trading strategy. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, if you're interested in trading and would like to try out the same crypto exchange that I've been using for the last 4 years, feel free to go ahead and check out MEXC with the link in the video description down below this video. I personally love this exchange for one big reason, and that big reason is simply because they literally have over 1,500 altcoins, and they're always adding new altcoins on a regular basis. And I'm a huge altcoin nerd, hence the name Altcoin Radar, and I love being able to buy all kinds of good small cap altcoins when they launch, all right? Now, before we actually go ahead and start this off, hold on, let me get to my chart. Before we actually go ahead and start this off, if you guys are not familiar with Bollinger Bands, they basically consist of a middle band, which is this orange one right here, which is basically a simple moving average, and then two outer bands that represent deviations from the simple moving average here, all right? Now, there's a couple different ways that the Bollinger Bands work with swing trading, okay? Now, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the Bollinger Bands. It's one of those indicators that personally works great for me and my personal strategy, and I use it for confirmation all the time when I'm trading, all right? Now, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. This is the reason why there's all kinds of different trading strategies out there, because not everything works for everybody else, okay? But for me personally, I absolutely love this indicator. It's awesome. All right, guys. So there's all kinds of different ways that the Bollinger Bands can work for swing trading, okay? Now, when I'm talking swing trading, I'm talking about entering trades and exiting them within like 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 days, something like that. I usually say anything up to 1 to 7 days, and anything 7 days and above is more of a position trader type deal, all right? Everybody's got different concepts for that and different definitions for that and stuff, but that's just my personal view, okay? So the first way that I like to use Bollinger Bands is by identifying overbought and oversold conditions, okay? Basically, when prices touch or exceed the upper band, this band right here, when they touch or go over them, the asset is technically considered overbought, okay? And on the other hand, when prices touch or fall below the lower band, which is this band right here, then technically the asset is considered oversold. And many times these extreme levels signal a potential reversal point, as you guys can clearly see. Here's a perfect example right here. We went way below the lower band right here, as you guys can clearly see. We went way out of it, and then we ended up reversing and ended up going straight upwards. So if you were to have entered a trade right there, let's say you were to enter it right as it was going straight out of it, and you were to get in, you would have rode that all the way out to roughly here, maybe 6%. You would have made roughly 6% on that. But if you're using leverage, like if you're using 10x leverage or something like that, you would have probably made roughly around 60% profits right there. So that is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about identifying overbought and oversold conditions with the Bollinger Bands, all right? Now, it does not work every single time, okay? This is why it's very important to not make trading decisions based solely on one indicator, okay? Because you'll want to confirm it with another indicator or trend lines or something else to make sure that indeed the price is going to continue to go that way, or make you feel that it's going to go that way. So if we were to look at another indicator and confirm it, we would be looking at, or I would be looking at the MACD indicator down here. And as you guys can clearly see, right here where it came down and where it started to go up, you can clearly see right down here on the histogram of the MACD, we went from dark red bars down to pink bars, which technically means that, okay, well, sell volume is starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and we are starting to, get bullish again. And that is a clear indicator right there that, okay, well, we are starting to reverse and we're going to start going up again. And that's exactly what happened here, all right? Now, again, like I was saying before, the bands aren't a guarantee, so you should also be confirming your bias with market sentiment and other indicators like I just showed you here, you guys, all right? Now, the next way that Bollinger Bands can be used is with the infamous volatility squeeze on the bands, okay? Basically, when the band contracts, gets really skinny, it typically indicates that there's very low volatility in the market. or in the asset that you're looking at. And it often happens after a period of extremely high volatility. Basically, you can anticipate potential breakout opportunities with this as the market prepares for another big move. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm like losing my words here. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if we can find a good example here. All right, so let's go ahead and find one. So as you guys can clearly see right here, we had this big explosive move up here, right? I mean, we had a big explosive move there. Actually, this whole thing is a big explosive move. And we ended up getting skinny with low volatility right after it. You can see the bands, they contracted hardcore. And when they contract hardcore, that means, you know, there's going to be another move coming up here real soon, which when they did, I mean, here, you can tell that they started to expand again shortly after, which, you know, whoever traded that ended up making roughly around, you know, a good 5.3%, which is pretty big deal. I mean, especially if you're using like 10x leverage or something like that, that's 50% profits right there, guys. And you can see right before this upswing right here, the same thing happened. We got super skinny right there. All right, super skinny, and we ended up, you know, spacing out real quick right there. And whoever traded that, they would have made roughly around, you know, if they held on to it for that long, they would have made roughly around, if they're using 10x leverage, they would have made about 130% on that one move alone, all within just one day, you guys. So as you guys can clearly see, the Bollinger Bands can be extremely beneficial and helpful if you're learning how to trade. All right. Now, before that, to be honest with you, that's pretty much all there is to the Bollinger Bands. There's really not much to it. It's just, they take practice. They really do. They take practice, and as the more you look at them and the more you watch them on a regular basis, the more you start to see different patterns, and the more you start to see how they work and what you can expect as far as the market continues. Okay. Now, before I go ahead and wrap up this video, I want to show you guys how I personally use the bands in my personal strategy. And by swing trading, I'm mainly talking about trading the larger time frames and using the daily, weekly, and 4-hour charts here, okay? Which is what we're on. We're on the 4-hour chart, okay? So realistically, like I was explaining earlier in the very beginning about finding overbought and oversold conditions, that's a lot of what I do when I'm trading myself. When I'm personally trading, as far as finding overbought and oversold conditions, okay? But I'm also using support and resistance levels as well, but I'll save that for another video. But as far as how I personally use the Bollinger Bands, I mean, this is a perfect example of how I would use them, all right? Literally, I would wait until price action falls below the lower band, and then I would place a long order as it's starting to wick out straight through it, okay? Because if it starts to wick out straight through it, I mean, yeah, technically it could keep continuing to go down, but we've got this other indicator down here that tells us that volume or volatility is starting to get less and less, or it's starting to grow more and more, and we are going to start rising here soon. So again, that's the whole confirmation aspect I'm talking about here, okay? Because realistically, this could have eventually went down instead of straight up, but we had the indicator for confirmation down here to tell us that that sell pressure is minimizing and we are starting to trend upwards again. So again, that's kind of what I'm talking about here as far as how I use them and how I use confirmation with other indicators to make my overall decisions here, okay? Now, guys, overall, Bollinger Bands really serve as an extremely valuable tool for identifying potential entry and exit points, and by understanding the dynamics of these bands and integrating them into your own personal strategy, you'll be able to navigate the market swings with confidence. And realistically, they work great on just about every time frame as well. These days, right now, I don't do a lot of swing trading. In 2024, I have started to do a lot more day trading. So I've been posting a lot of trading setups in my free community Discord server and stuff like that. And you'll see in a lot of those charts that I do use the Bollinger Bands between the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart on a regular basis. But overall, the more you navigate these market swings, the more confidence you're going to have. But keep in mind, though, just like trading with any other indicator, it takes absolute practice. So make sure you stay patient as well. I cannot stress enough how important it is to stay patient and keep your mindset in the right space, you guys. Now, If any of you guys have any questions about anything that I mentioned in this video whatsoever, or anything that's related to altcoins or trading in general, feel free to go ahead and reach out to me in my free community Discord server, which you can find a link to in the description below this video. But other than that, you guys, that's going to pretty much do it for this one. So I will go ahead and wrap this video up. But if you haven't already and you would like to, go ahead and make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a new crypto and altcoin video from me on a regular basis. And hey guys, with that said, thanks for watching.